Hello everybody and welcome to DIY Chopped, custom model shop. You know, we're going to be doing some fabulous things, and I'm going to be showing you some tricks that I've learned along the way. You know, I've been a model builder for about 20, 25 plus years, and I have met many model builders that have 20, 30, 40 plus years on top of my years. So we got a lot of things that's going to happen, and I'm going to show each and every bit of it to you guys. But we got to start somewhere, very basic. I have gotten a lot of feedback. We got a lot of comments that I have received on Facebook. We took DIY and we put it on Facebook, kind of let the people know what we're doing, and we already got comments coming in. And one of the biggest comments was, what if you've never built a model before? Because we got a lot of people that are interested, but they've never built one. So, and I replied back to them that the very first session is going to be building basics, and that's what we're going to do right here, right now. Now, the first thing I want to share and I want to illustrate with you is, what is your style of models? Models can be, they're made in all different scales, all different colors, designs, different makes and models of automobiles, earth movers, semi-trucks, trailers. You got your flatbed, you got your van, you got your tanker trailers. What is your style? Is it a hot rod? That's another comment that we also picked up on our website, and our email addresses. Are we going to be doing hot rods? Yes, we are. We're going to be doing basically everything from your standard antiquity cars, antiques, all the way up to your hot rods, your dragsters, your railers. We'll be doing car carrier trailers. We'll be building them from scratch. A lot of what we're going to be building is from scratch, to semi trucks. Building sleepers, extended sleepers, stretching chassis. I mean, we're going to be building trailers from scratch as well, flatbeds, vans, and tankers. We're going to do it all. We're going to do it all right here on DIY Chopped. But again, we have to start at the basics. So, and the basics is basically when you go to your local store and you buy yourself a model. You got to make a decision on what kind of model that interests you, because the interest of the model that you pick will also give you an imagination on what you want to do with your next model that you purchase. As you build the model, you're going to become ideas. You're going to get ideas on how to change up. Possibly, I wish I had this on my model. I wish I had a CB antenna, for instance. How do you make a CB antenna? We'll be illustrating that in future sessions. How do I make a hood scoop? I want to turn my 69 Camaro into a hot rod, and put a big motor in it with a blower, and put extra parts in it. How do I do that? We'll be illustrating that as well. Everything that we're going to be illustrating is going to be in a custom field, but we got to start at the basics again. Now, again, that's what you want to look at when you're going to the store. Are you an over-the-road truck driver? You drive a semi-truck. You see trucks out on the road, real trucks, and you drive and you think, man, that's an awesome looking truck. I wish I had a truck like that. We can teach you how to build it. Yes, we can. I know somebody's like, well, how? We're going to do it all custom. But again, it starts at the basics. So in the basic, number one is, what do you pick when you go to the store? So pick according to your interest. The second thing is pick a model that is not too difficult, but yet it's not a snap together. In my personal opinion, snap togethers, they're really good for kids, but on an adult level, they can become very boring very quick, and you can build it in just a matter of minutes. You want something that's going to be a little bit time consuming for you. Maybe a few days to maybe a few weeks, depending on your time. And then the very third thing, and I have to really stress, okay, is, you know, your supplies. Okay, now the supplies, I get my supplies at my local craft store. Testers paints, if they're really good paints, they can be problematic. I go with the enamels. Going to the commercial art and design department of your local craft store, you can find a lot of enamel paints. A lot of them are very suitable for plastic, but don't get anything with lacquer. Okay, lacquer on these on styrene. This is styrene plastic. That's what a lot of these models are made out of. The lacquer will eat the plastic. It'll actually melt the plastic, and you don't want anything that is high in acetone. Acetone can also eat the plastic. Acetone can not only eat the plastic, it can also glue. It'll glue glob, which that'll be described later in sessions. Glue glob is where the plastic actually bubbles, and it becomes very problematic to fix. And a lot of that's caused by paints. So, and we'll share that in later sessions. So basically, what style of model do you want? What do you like most? Do you like hot rods? Do you like pickup trucks? Do you like four-wheel drive trucks? Do you like semi trucks? Do you like earth mover, tractors, farming equipment? What is your style? That's one. Two is your supplies, or two is your skill level. Pick one that is, like skill level 2. Skill level 2. They're really good. Starter skill level 1, for some of you it might be a little boring, but skill level 2 is what I would suggest. And thirdly is your supplies. Supplies, good supplies, you'll get good models. And what's your supplies you are investing? Okay, always remember. Okay, for instance, just to give you a quickie here, I picked up these brushes right here. These are Darish brushes. They're about 3 or 4. Some places they're about $5, and these are really good for detailing. And these brushes are, I don't know if you can see it on the bottom. Okay, right there. It's 2000. These are very good brushes. Do not soak these brushes in acetone because they will fall apart. I've learned that the hard way. But your supplies, all your supplies and stuff is an investment. So just remember that. It might be expensive depending on what store you go to, but it is an investment. And these will last a lifetime if you take care of them. I will have a session for brush maintenance. And these paints, I'm telling you, it's an investment. Now, let's jump into the model. When you first open up the model, and today I have one with you that is a Bandit Series Edition Pontiac Trans Am. This is one of my all-time favorites. I was a Smokey and the Bandit fan, when the show aired, and Burt Reynolds, comedy. Pretty much a comedy. And I picked this up at my local store for about $26. And this is an awesome piece. You can get these at Hobby Lobby. You can also get these online, and they're about between $26 and $36 depending on where you actually purchased the model, whether it's online, eBay, or on Hobby Link. This one here was actually, and I stand and correct myself, this was actually purchased to me by my wife for a Christmas present. I just never put it together. There's a story behind that, but it's complicated. But what you want to do is you want to open up the box. Take the plastic off. I've already done some preparations for you. And you want to, the first thing you want to do is you want to pull out the instruction book. Okay, now the instruction book a lot of times will have an inventory sheet in there, okay, which I don't know if you guys can see it. This is a Rebel. This basically here describes all the parts that are on the trees, and the first thing you want to do is you want to pull out the trees, and these are the parts, and you want to check to see if all the parts are there, and most importantly, you have all the trees, because there's some models, and I don't mean to scare anybody, but there's some models I have purchased and it was missing a tree. And there's a number in the instruction book that you can call to the company with Rebel, with the company that actually manufactured the model. Talk to a service representative, and a lot of times they'll mail you an entire tree for pennies. I mean, for shipping and handling, like a couple of bucks. I mean, and sometimes you gotta wait a long time to get it. I'm not gonna kid with you on it, but make sure you got all the parts. Okay, pay close attention to the glass. Most of the time, if there is a tree missing, okay, it's either going to be the glass or it's going to be the chrome. These are the two that are normally missing, or it's going to be the rubber tires. This is a rarity, very rarity, but I have had this happen. So, but you know, make sure you got all your trees. That is really, really, really big. Because if you don't have all the trees, you can't put your model together, right? Right. Okay. Check the body. You know, just kind of visually, just kind of look it over. Make sure that there's no cracks in it. Make sure that all the molding, you know, all the crevice, all the detail is there. You know, just kind of a quick reference here. You know, do that with all the parts. You know, just kind of look the parts over. It's basically the whole idea. Make sure everything's there and everything's in good shape. The second thing that you want to do is you want to look through the instruction book, okay, and get familiar with the model. Get familiar with it. Now, just kind of give you a crash course on this. Most of the models, if you do have a problem, it will have a number. Let me see if I can. I don't want to give you Spanish, French, or whatever here. Okay, you'll see on the instruction book, there'll be a place where you can contact the actual manufacturer. Okay, now so a lot of these actually have a 1-800 number that you can call. Rebel, you actually got to call. You actually got to write to them. Or you can contact rebel.com on their website. You can actually find them on the web. A lot of these can be found on the web as well. And that's very important. But jumping right into this is the Firebird 4027 kit by Rebel. Again, just for our viewers. You know, you want to get familiar with this section right here. Which this here is the paint. This is all the paint codes. Each and every part will have a letter which will represent the paint code for that particular part. Okay, and again, you got your inventory sheet to double check all your parts. Rebel's really, really good on them. If it doesn't have this this inventory sheet, basically when you look at the part, if you see a number, there should be a part next to it. Okay, if you see a number slot and there's no part that's attached to the tree, check the bag. Okay, check the bag and check the box. And real quick, let me back up just real quick. When you take these out of the tree, when you take the trees out of the bags, they will be in plastic bags. They'll be sealed in plastic bags. Do not throw the bags away until you check the parts on the tree. Because a lot of times, if you pull the part out of the bag, okay, a small part like this may fall off and go into the bottom of the bag. It'll actually fall into the bag. Okay, and this is something that I've done. You know, when I was building models, I just pull them right out, throw these in the box just like that. Take the bag, wad it up, throw it in the trash can. Okay? And then I get halfway to the model, and I'm like, oh, I'm missing a part. Where'd it go? I'm checking the box, can't find it. Check my desk, can't find it. Check the, the floor. Maybe it might have dropped on the floor. Okay? And then I would check my trash can. 99.9% of the time, I found it in the bottom of the trash can, because the part fell out of the bag in the bottom of the trash can. Okay? So, and believe me, it's a pain. It can be a very, very much of a pain. So, always check the tree, your number, and then there's a part there. If the part's not there, check the bag. Okay? If it's not in the bag, then contact your model company that you bought, that manufactures the model. Okay? Again, just real quick, you got your inventory sheet. Check all your parts on your tree with the inventory sheet. Okay? Not all companies and instruction books have this, so check the number. If there's a part, that's the part. That's the inventory. Okay? And then this is basically what the instruction book's going to look like. Okay? You got your part right there. You'll have a number that is for that particular part, and then you have your letter. The letter actually tells you what color to paint the part. Okay? Now this one here would be F. So you go back. I already know what it is, but I'm going to show you anyway. Okay? So F is Pontiac blue. Okay? And you'll see the Pontiac blue right here. See F, that means that the engine block is Pontiac blue. So you paint it Pontiac blue. Okay? And each and every part will have that, except the chrome parts. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, if you look right here at the alternator, okay? This is part number 53. It's got a star next to it. I don't know if you guys can see that real good. Okay? There's a star. Star, most of the time, will mean that the part is chrome. And me being chrome, it's going to be silver chrome, just like these. Okay? It'll be on a chrome tree. Okay? If it, on some models, I have found that it'll have C with a box, a circle, and it'll have a star in the corner. That means chrome too, in certain model kits. Okay, and you want to just kind of look through, get familiar with the parts and how it's put together. Study the instruction book. Don't build anything yet. Don't build anything. Okay, the instruction book is very much detailed on the Rebels. You will have instruction books depending on the company that you buy, the company manufacturer, that you really, really, really got to look at, because some of them don't have the numbers, and you got to visually build, which we'll get into that later. But just kind of, the signs, the different signs, and how are you going to paint it? You might want to change the interior color. Like for instance, let's say black interior. Car has black interior, and you want to make it, let's say leather. You want to do two different colors of leather. Figure out where your color scheme is going to be, and you can pretty much tell that out just by studying your instruction book. Okay, but look through. Look through the instruction book. Get familiar with it. Get really, really familiar with it. How does the parts go together? How do you fit the parts? How do you detail? How's your final detailing going to be? Okay. The very last page of these books will be the decal. These here, I highly recommend that you make Xerox copies of them. And this will be explained here in later chapters and later sessions because of custom reasons. Okay, for customizing and mocking up. But this basically here tells you where all the decals goes. and that's extremely important in a lot of models. Okay, and a lot of models will come with two different decals systems, and I'll just grab one of my other I've got my Jeep right here. I'll just show you on my Jeep here. Okay, it's got the Safari, and I'm sorry, the Safari down here, and then up here, it's got the Park Ranger. Okay, there'll be two different schemes in the numbers. It will also tell you which scheme it is. So, but these are great. These are absolutely great to hold on to. Get Xerox copies of these, because these the actual drawing conception of the model can give you ideas for future builds. So always keep your instruction book, at least 2 copies of your instruction. If you got 2 models, keep two the instruction books, and make multiple copies of the last page. Trust me, you're going to find out that it'll help you out in the long run in later sessions. Okay, and that's basically the basics, you know, of the actual kit. Now, basics in the builds. Okay, and we're burning some time up here. I know I'm probably rambling, but hey, this is good stuff. Believe me, this is going to help you in the long run. Okay, go to the first page. Okay, and which is the engine. Normally, it's the engine. It's either the engine or the chassis. 99.9% of the time, it's the engine. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to get the tree, okay, for 41, okay, part number 41, 40, and 41, and this is F, which is Pontiac Blue. Okay, now with me, I don't think I got any Pontiac Blue. Don't think I got it. I think I'm out of Pontiac Blue. If you can give me just a moment here. Okay, we got some Avery Blue. And this is another, you know, I don't build my models, you know, according to the box most of the time. But you want to do, you know, just give it a good shake. You want to do this, you know, prior to your gluing, but just kind of give it a good shake, and then take it and flip it upside down, you know, for a few minutes. Okay. And the reason why is because the paint silk will mix up inside it, and then when you flip it upside down, the paint silk will actually go to the cap. You know, when you're shaking it, let it mellow, and then when you flip it right side up, shake it again, it evens it out. Makes it smooth, very smooth on the paint. Okay, but anyway, good glue is another good thing, really good thing. I use multiple glues. I do use an acetone, which basically is, I mean, you can get it at any Walmart shop. I also used there it is. It's acetone, and I use an acetone applicator. You can get these at Hobby Lobby as well. They're glue and chemical applicators. They actually come with a needle in it. I don't know if you guys can see the needle right there. Okay, these are really nice. Setting this up will also be in one of our sessions too, but right now I want to keep it basic. And then I also use generated alcohol, and this I use to clean parts with prior to painting, because of oil residues creates a lot of issues, but that'll be later on. Okay, so basically what you do is you take it off, take half the part off. That's all you want to do is half the part. Okay, take your glue, and if you look real closely, there's a little hole right there, okay? And you want to just put just a dab of glue on that hole, and then back here, there's a pin, and you want to stick just a little bit of glue on that pin, okay? That's all you want. All you need is just a little bit. A lot of people will glue all the way around the edges. Okay, that's really not necessary, because when you paint the part, the paint actually glues it together the rest of the way. You have a lot of residue that you have to actually take off, and a lot of globs that you got to cut off with the razor, with your X-Acto knife. You got to sand it. It creates a paint. By doing the pin in the hole, okay, where the other pin goes in it, it's all concealed inside. Basically, all you got to do is take the razor blade, take your X-Acto knife, and you just trim where the tree's at. That's all you got to do. Take off your flange, give it a little quick scrape, touch it up with the paint, you're ready to go. It's ready to go. Okay, but so you just basically put it on there. Just kind of make sure that it's going to stay there. You may have to hold it for a few minutes. Okay, this one's going to be a pain in the butt, so we're going to have to take it back off. Okay, this is going to be a troubleshooting for y'all. Okay, because it's not staying together. If you look real closely, there's that gap. Okay, see it right there? Now, if I close that gap, the transmission does the same thing. So, what you're going to do on this particular problem is to go ahead and take it off. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put it back on. And we got to do this quick, because if not, we're going to have issues. Okay. On the bottom of the transmission, there's going to be a transmission pan. Okay. I'm just going to see where the transmission pan is going to be at, right there where my fingernail's at. Okay. Right there on those edges, we're going to glue that edge, and then we are going to glue the bottom where the oil pan is, and the very, very top where the manifold goes. That's the only places we're going to glue on this. Okay. So, hopefully we're going to keep it on the tree, because we got to paint this. So, basically what you do is you take your glue. We're going to glue it just a little bit on the edge here, just right where the pin is. Okay, I'm hoping you guys can see that. I'm going to put a little dab right there. You can see the hairs coming off my glue tube. Kind of wrap it around there. We're going to glue right here. Okay. Lost my bead, but that's alright. We're going to glue right here by the oil pan, just before we get, right when we get to the very edge of where the oil pan is. Okay, and then we're going to glue. It's a little harder to glue this thing with watching the camera. Okay, right where the manifold's at. Okay, and what that's going to do is that's going to hide the globs. Alright, I gotta hurry this up, because if I don't, we're gonna have ourselves acetone glob issues. So, take it. Always put the cap on your glue. That's a star rule. That's how you get those little hairy things. Because the glue sets up on the end of your, and we got to line this up because the pin's actually melted. So I gotta make sure this thing stays together. Kind of got to move it around a little bit here, make it. All right, there we go. Okay, and then you just want to hold that. And while this is drying, I'll just kind of continue a little bit. This you're going to find this problem, but you want to try to glue where it's not going to be noticeable, where either you cover it up or you have easy access to where you can scrape the extra glue off. Okay, you want to stay away from any kind of detailing. Yeah, if there's a hose that's going on the front of the engine, you want to stay away. You want to keep the glue away from that because it is very hard to correct. And a lot of times when you do scrape off the glue, you'll take the hose off with it. Okay, now when we do our custom work, and I throw some custom sessions at you, there is a session where we actually put hoses on the engines. So if that happens, we can also teach you how to fix it, how to detail it and put a hose on it. Okay, there we go. It don't take very long for this to actually grip. Okay, so, but you know, you will find that some parts may not fit properly. And I should have, it's my fault, I should have suggested and showed that to you earlier. Always fit your parts, dry fit your parts. Do not put any glue on them. Put them together and see if they actually line up properly. But you got to be very careful because some parts, if you put them together and you put pressure on them, they'll lock together. And then they're a pain to get them apart. And that you use a X-Acto blade, and we'll show you how to do that too. We'll show you all kinds of tricks, I'm telling you. A lot of people call me the model master because I just have so many different tricks and so many ways we can do things with these models. And a lot of it I have learned from the old timers. You know, just hanging around with my friends and hanging out with their fathers, you know, and we would just build models. I mean, just everywhere I went, there was a father or an uncle or a grandfather, neighbor. I mean, that was building models. I mean, I love models. I grew up with it. And they actually showed me, I mean, some awesome tricks, and we're going to show you each and every one of them. I guarantee you, you'll be amazed. Okay, there we go, starting to tack up. Now, you want to let this sit for a while before you paint it. And the reason why is because a lot of paints, especially the enamels, if you paint these wet, it dilutes the glue and the part falls apart again. When the paint dries, the part falls apart. Part falls apart, you know. It's a rhymeable. Okay. But anyway, okay, and that's the first. We just did the very first block. Now, the second block, which is right here. Okay, we have the manifold. It's all in one piece. The oil pan is in one piece, and the transmission pan is in one piece. Now, this here is basically 3 different parts that goes in 3 different locations on the block. So, we're going to go, this is done. This here, we can't do because the engine block's drying and it ain't painted. Okay? We haven't done any paint work, so we can't do anything else. Right? Right. Okay. So, and we're actually sitting at 33. I think we're about 35 minutes. Okay, we'll probably end up doing that on the next session because I'd rather do a whole paint session with you. But, you know, as you're continuing your building, okay, and the detail, and I want to bring this out, when you study your instruction book, you'll see where the paint detail is. Okay, like this is the hose, or not the hose, but the actual pulleys and the belts, okay? Locating this on your tree, you know, that's the first thing you got to do. This here is the alternator, and it's in chrome, so you're not going to paint that unless you want to add detail to it. Some people, you know, they add gold on the fins or something, but we'll show you that. We'll show you that later because we are going to do a little bit of detailing work. But when you study it, that's what I'm talking about. That right there is the belt, the pulleys. The belt's one color, the pulleys are going to be another. Now, if you look over here, this is C, okay, and C, which is the color code, okay. Okay, so if you look right over here, see it's the flat black. I could have answered that, but I got to show you anyway. See it says flat black. See, right there. Okay, the pulleys. If it's a stock engine, I would do the pulleys Pontiac blue. You know, and that's just, you know, for a stock engine, that's what they painted them. My personal choice of color would be silver. Silver's a highlighting color, but again, if you're for beginners, I would stick with either doing them the Pontiac blue, or just go ahead and painting them black. Paint the whole assembly black, just to make it easy on you. If you're not a good detail painter and you need practice, I do believe that anybody can be a good detail painter. It just takes practice and mistakes. You know, you make a mistake, we'll show you how to correct mistakes too. Because I'm sure I'll make mistakes purposely, and some of them will be actual accidentals, and I'll show you how to actually correct them. Correct it with detail. But I'd paint the whole assembly black. Okay, this right here, this is F, B, B, and F. Okay, so we're looking at F and B. And I'm going in reverse again. I might have you guys confused, but just bear with me. Okay, B is dark gray, and the F is Pontiac engine blue. Okay, so that is the biggie. So, and but you don't have to necessarily paint them that color. Now the oil pan and the transmission pan, I usually do that aluminum. I mean, it makes a great asset in the chassis detail when you do it. So, just real quick here, you know, that's just kind of an intro on the first part. And of course, if you look at the very bottom of it here, you know, with your fan, the fan is G, and that's semi-gloss black, which I like to do those. Again, I like to do those aluminum, or if you can get stainless steel paint. It's a real high gloss chrome paint. It don't smell very good, but it's beautiful when it dries. And what you want to do is you want to mix a little bit of thinner with it, a little bit of thinner. Okay, paint thinner. You want it thin enough to where it'll just glide right across the parts. Okay, before when you use the chromoly, okay, or the chrome paint, okay, it is best to primer these a flat gray. Any part you paint with chromoly or chrome paint, you want to primer it flat gray. And the reason why is because flat gray is a neutral color. You put the chromoly over top of it, it just pops it, makes it beautiful. But you want it thin. You want the chromoly thin enough to where it just glides right over the part. Okay, and the reason why is because if it's thick, you'll leave brush marks. Okay, if it's too thin, then it'll bleed the flat black through, and you'll just paint it over and over and over and over and over, and it'll look like aluminum. So spray it, or just put a light coat of flat gray on it. Let it sit and dry for a couple of days. You know, give it extra time to dry. Just mix just a little bit of paint there. Let it flow. Just glide it right on there once. Boom, boom, boom. That fan will look beautiful, I'm telling you. And I'll show you. I'll show you because I do got chromoly over there. It's beautiful paint. But this here is basically your main assembly, and that completes the first stage of the engine. So, and we're going to be doing this on our next video. So please, you know, I know this is pretty basic and pretty boring, but you know, we're going to take it from the basics all the way up to the madness. If you like my video, please share it. Subscribe. Please subscribe. If you got any questions, any comments, please write to DIYchopped@gmail.com. Okay, and we will do the best that we can to research. If we don't know, if we do know, we'll reveal it to you, and we'll put it in one of our sessions. We'll explain it and put it in one of our sessions, and we will show you. So, but thank you very much. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. You got more coming, so stay tuned. This is Basics, session number 1, Building the Bandit. Thank you very much.